I'm Danielle, your host of the Abridged to Motherhood podcast, the place where moms like you learn to thrive, not just survive through pregnancy, birth, and postpartum. I'm a birth and postpartum doula and a mom of two who's been where you are. My first pregnancy was filled with so much excitement, but it was also marked by stress, anxiety, and fear of the unknown. I thought I had everything mapped out, but when postpartum hit, I realized how unprepared I was for the physical, emotional, and mental toll of motherhood. It was overwhelming, lonely, and nothing like I imagined. When I found out I was pregnant again, I knew I needed to approach things differently. I made it my mission to not only prepare for postpartum, but to prioritize myself in the process. That shift changed everything. Now I'm here to help you do the same. Whether you're navigating your first pregnancy, feeling buried under endless advice, or struggling to figure out what you actually need for postpartum, this podcast is your safe space. You'll find practical tips, honest conversations, and expert insights to help you feel informed, supported, and empowered through every stage of motherhood. If you're ready to feel confident, prepared, and truly supported in your motherhood journey, stick around. This is for you. Welcome back, friend. If you are tuning in during launch week, this is the third episode that is launching this week. And I am very excited for this episode because it is all about why your identity matters in motherhood. So today we are going to dive into the importance of maintaining your identity as a mother. And yes, I will repeat it again. You still matter after your baby is born. Motherhood can so easily consume your every moment. And if your baby isn't here yet, you may think I am being overdramatic, but I am serious. Every moment. Remembering who you are beyond the mom title is so crucial for your well-being and your confidence. It's so easy once baby arrives for everyone to constantly ask about baby, but to forget about you. And this episode is going to help you understand why holding on to your personal identity is key to thriving as a new mom and how it benefits not just you, but also your baby and your family. I'm going to share some practical ways to reconnect with yourself and preserve your sense of self in the midst of the chaos that is motherhood. So many first-time moms struggle to recognize themselves after giving birth. They feel like they've just disappeared behind the mom role. It's so easy to feel guilty for wanting time for yourself, thinking that you should be constantly focused on your baby and your family's needs. The mental and physical exhaustion of motherhood can make it hard to think about anything other than survival mode, let alone nurturing your personal identity. And the idea of losing yourself in motherhood can be terrifying, especially if you've always been a very independent person and had really strong passions and hobbies before having children. Or maybe you are very passionate about your career and you're wondering, how in the world am I going to maintain my identity in the workforce while having spit up all over me? So, reason number one why your identity is so important in motherhood is because it's the foundation for a healthy motherhood journey. When you make time for your own hobbies, passions, interests, you recharge, and in turn, you bring more energy and patience to your role as a mom. It's that old saying, put your oxygen mask on before you help anyone else idea. Believing that your identity needs to be sacrificed for motherhood, that just leads to burnout, resentment, and can lead to this sense of emptiness. So, what can you do? Set aside time each week for activities that feed your soul, whether that's reading, exercising, or enjoying a hobby you loved before motherhood. Reason number 2, why it is so important to maintain your identity is because when you stay connected to yourself, you model healthy boundaries for your child. If you prioritize your self-care and demonstrate healthy boundaries, your child learns how to value their own well-being as they grow. If you neglect your own needs and boundaries because you feel guilty, this continues to model unhealthy patterns for your kids. I know I am not the only one who watched her mom sacrifice everything for her. And of course, we want to sacrifice everything for our children. But in the process, we cannot forget ourselves completely. So, start small by setting one boundary for yourself. This could be as simple as taking a break when you need one, making sure you get a shower every day, or saying no to something that does not align with your needs or your family's needs. Your kids will learn from this example. Reason number 3 why you need to maintain your identity. Holding on to your identity helps you manage the emotional roller coaster of motherhood. When you remember who you are beyond just being quote unquote mom, it becomes easier to navigate the emotional highs and lows of parenting without feeling overwhelmed. When you get so lost in those emotional ups and downs, your mood shift can feel like a reflection of your worth as a mother. So let's get into those actionable tips again. You can practice grounding techniques like journaling, breathing exercises, doing a technique like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, where you are getting in touch with all 5 senses. You're starting with 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can hear, 3 things that you can feel, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. This really just brings you back to that present moment. Something else you can do is making time to talk to a supportive friend. Maybe that's over Marco Polo, maybe that's texting back and forth, maybe that's meeting up for coffee, but try to stay connected to who you are outside of your child's needs. Reason number 4, your identity outside of motherhood is what makes you an empowered mom. I want you to take a second and think of someone you know who's a mom who also has a thriving career or a project that she's super passionate about. It's not about being superwoman and doing everything, but it's about feeling empowered in your own life to make decisions and choices and pursue things outside of motherhood that make you feel more confident in your role as a mom. So often we believe that we have to be just a mom or even introduce ourselves as Johnny's mom, but our career and personal dreams shouldn't have to take a backseat forever. Of course, you can put these things on pause as you focus in on becoming a mother. If that is your choice, go for it. I have done both. I've been a stay-at-home mom and I've been a working mom. But what I want you to do right now, go ahead, take out a pen and paper, pause, pull up the notes app on your phone. I want you to write down a personal goal that's separate from motherhood. It could be something small, like taking that class at the library that you've been wanting to take, or signing up for a new workout class, or working on a personal project to remind you that you can still pursue your passions. And reason number 5, your identity as a mother is not defined by perfection. So often we feel like we have to get everything right. We have to perfect our baby care. We have to have a perfect home life. We have to have perfect relationships. But it's the real imperfect moments that build that strong sense of self and that perseverance that we need throughout motherhood. Striving for perfection just ultimately leads to so much frustration and self-judgment when things don't go as planned. And the last thing we want is that negative self-talk going around and around in our heads. What can you do? Start embracing imperfection by practicing self-compassion. Accept that mistakes and messiness are a part of both motherhood and life. Start talking to yourself in a kind way and reminding yourself that you deserve grace. Our actionable takeaways from today. Number 1, try to schedule a small amount of time for self-care or a personal activity you enjoy this week. Number 2, set small boundaries like saying no to things that drain you or make you feel resentful. 3, practice some emotional grounding techniques, whether that's breathing or a technique like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to stay connected to your inner self during those tough parenting moments. 4, identify a personal goal that's separate from your role as a mom and take one step toward that goal. And number 5, let go of the idea of perfectionism. Embrace the messy and the real moments that make you unique as a mom. I hope now you're feeling like you have a clearer understanding of how nurturing your identity is essential for both your well-being and your motherhood journey. Remember, you deserve to feel whole, not just as a mom. If this is something that you struggle with, I want you to go download my free guide, the New Mom Survival Guide, the first 30 days to get started and take charge of your well-being. You can find the link in my show notes or on my website at abridgetomotherhood.com/newmom. Thanks so much for tuning in to the A Bridge to Motherhood podcast. I'm so glad you were here today. If you loved this episode, I'd be so grateful if you could leave a review for the podcast on whatever platform you're listening on. Share it with a friend or snap a screenshot and tag me on social media. If you decide to leave me a review, go to abridgetomotherhood.com/review. That link is also in the show notes so that I can send you a little gift in the mail. Your support helps other moms to find the podcast, and it truly means the world to me. Remember, your motherhood journey deserves your care and attention. Until next time, keep showing up for yourself, mama, and don't worry, I'm here to help every step of the way. See you soon.